Hello to whoever's there. Hope you're doing well. Starting kind of late. I was helping my boss with something. So I hope you can hear me. Have my mic on. There's a professor teaching outside too, so you might hear him. So my name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel. So since there's no one here yet, I could get started on a collective reading. Earlier today, I did all signs moon and Taurus reading, and it's timestamped, so feel free to watch that the replay. It's like I think it was less than an hour long. So I want to see what messages you need to know right now. This deck card that got stuck there. Let's see what the collective needs to know for the highest and greatest good. What does the collective need to know? Using the Sacred Soul Messages card. Let's see what messages you need to know this time. So, this is what we need to know this time. I was just talking about the new moon in Taurus. So the first card we have is your heart is an ocean. Find yourself in its hidden depths. Life journey, finding purpose and true love. It's about finding what you love, living in love, being an embodiment of love, but also true love. It could be you being your own true love or someone else being your true love. And then the next card we have is why be unhappy when your soul is in full bloom. Health, spiritual growth, and choosing happiness. I feel like if you're an embodiment of love, if you're someone who lives in a loving vibration, and they say love is the highest energy of all, if you're in that vibration, then how can you not be happy? How can you not feel a sense of completeness or completion within yourself or your life? You know what I mean? The next card is the moon is bright when it doesn't avoid the night. Hang in there, be patient, you are on the right track. So this is about you overcoming whatever difficult challenges you may be experiencing, using basically like the silver lining of whatever you're experiencing. And like it says, the moon is the brightest even in the darkest night. So this is what you have to be. It's you being optimistic, you being whole. I want to say being whole, but that's definitely important. You do need to be whole. You cannot be fragmented in any way. You cannot be scattered. You have to be full, whole, and complete. It's being optimistic. Optimistic. I wanted to say Optimus Prime for some reason. Think about Transformers. So it's about being optimistic that things will work out, Like continue to hang in there. Do what you need to do the best you can, right? But just stay focused on the ultimate goal, whatever that is for you. Like the new moon is tomorrow, this is all about intentions, think about what you want to manifest for yourself, and focus on that. Focus on the good. Focus on like the light at the end of the tunnel, They always make they always mention this, like when you're driving, you can only see so far, but you have faith that the road continues on ahead beyond what you can see. So that's where this mentality has to be. It's the same type of mentality you have to have when you're moving past, you're going through something difficult and you don't know what's going to be on the other side of it. The only thing you know how to do is just keep pushing forward, keep moving forward, But your heart is an ocean. So your heart is vast. Your emotions are vast. There may be certain things in your life that you don't love, but the thing is, you need to focus on what you do love. This is where gratitude is very important. You focus on what you love. Focus on the good. If you focus on the negativity, then that's all you're going to see. But if you focus on the good, that's all you're going to see too. You get to choose. You have a choice. essentially you have a choice. It's all about optimism here, but this is not toxic positivity here. You know, if you're going through a difficult time, yes, process your feelings. Do not suppress them in any way. Don't be in denial of them, or even be in denial of other people's feelings or emotions. You know, just as much as you would want someone to validate your feelings, make sure you're doing the same for another person. You know. So I want to go into the Wild Soul Oracle deck, and I don't think I've used this deck in a long time. Hi, Teresa. I didn't see you yesterday. I think you popped by. Did you pop by yesterday? So the Wild Soul Oracle card has animals. It's an animal, like a spirit animal deck, but it's a really cute deck. I really like this. Remember when I saw it, I kept looking at it, and then eventually I bit the bullet and bought it. And it's not an expensive deck to begin with. It's a pretty affordable deck that I found on Amazon. Did I buy it last year? I think it was last year or the year before. I'm not sure. But it's a really cute deck. This card. I got 2 cards. Okay. Let me look at the bottom of the Sacred Soul message. Let yourself be drawn by the pull of what you truly love. Wasn't I telling you to focus on what you love? To focus on what you love. Let your heart space. Let what you love, what you care about, be what drives you forward. Do not allow yourself to be dragged back into something that has not been the best for you, has had you in your darkest hour, you know? So the caterpillar, the potential, you know, caterpillars, what do they transform into? Butterflies, beautiful butterflies. So some of you may be undergoing some sort of metamorphosis, but you may be like in the transition. So some of you may be heading into the hermit mode where you got to go into your chrysalis and hibernate it, and then before you can transform into that beautiful butterfly, you know, but whatever potential lies beyond this current phase that you're undergoing, this transition, you have to be optimistic about it, you know. It's going to be uncomfortable. It may be a little bit painful for some of you, but it's a much needed change that you need to experience so that you can level up in whatever way you need. Oh, that's nice. Stay drinking. That sounds fun. I haven't done that in a while. Hi, Jenny. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, okay. I'm not going to end. The next card we have is the ibex. Is it ibex? Ibex? I don't know. But it's a horny animal, you know, because it has these huge horns and resilience. This, like whatever some of you are going through is a test of your resilience, you know. But what they say, if you survive 100% of the worst days, your worst days, then, you know, you're stronger than you think, you know. So continue to be resilient. Recall on the times that you had to be resilient, when you've overcame something that you never even thought you could, where you've had to even find those little nuggets of strength or energy just to push forward. But also, there was something else I wanted to say. There was something else. I can't remember what I was going to say. But this is about you like focusing on the end goal. You see this figure, the feminine figure, she's wearing a yellow dress. Yellow signifies happiness, joy, sunshine, but it also represents sun, right? Yellow, the sun, courage, bravery, strength, resilience. So some of you already know what you need to do. Some of you have already, like I said, survived 100% of the worst days you've experienced, you know? So some of you need to remember how strong you truly are. That whatever you've experienced in the past that you've overcome, this is just going to be another obstacle that you need to overcome. But you already have the resilience. You've already built, you know, you already have that muscle. And then look at this, the octopus, flexibility, you know. You know what I was thinking though right now? You know, when we go through like all these different circumstances, situations, we learn from them. But then from those experiences, it teaches us how to become adaptable, you know, and this is about adaptability. You know, you've adapted. And that also lends to your resilience too, because you had to adapt to certain situations, especially certain transitions that you may have experienced in the past. And this may be another transition you may be going through. And And I'm remembering something about you, Teresa, the transition you're going through, with Texas, you, it's like you have to be flexible, you have to be adaptable. But also you have to be strong, know where you can bend, but know where you shouldn't break. So at the bottom of the deck is the rabbit, fertility. When you think about fertility, you also think about abundance. In order to be in this fertile state, it's the Empress state. You have to be in a positive mindset. Yeah. If you're not there, if you're not in this abundant mindset or oh God damn, speak English, abundant energy, you could think of it as being infertile. So if you're in a lack mindset, what can you grow from that? If you think about a plant, you don't water it, what's going to happen to it? It starts to wither away and die, right? But if you water it, you nourish it, what happens to it? It grows. This is the same thing. Whatever it is that you want to grow for yourself, you're going to have to nourish it. If you do the opposite of that, you're basically being infertile in the abundance that you can bring to yourself or what you can attract to yourself. I hope this makes sense. This is about creation, If you are infertile, you cannot create anything. And think of negativity as being infertile and positivity in the healthy sense as being fertile. This is the metaphor that I just came up with right now. So don't judge me if you are infertile. I don't know anybody's fertility status, you know what I mean? Or diagnosis. But I'm using that as an example, Thank you, Teresa, because, I don't know anybody, but, this is the Empress energy. The rabbit, she creates, abundantly. The rabbit is known for procreation, for creation, And wasn't I talking about nourishing the hen, Nurturing, taking care of your vision, focusing on what your end goal is, and finding peace. I love this with the dove coming out. Was I talking about transitions? Journey. Some of you are going through some sort of journey. And you've survived so much with the rat showing up. The rat is, when you think of rats or mice, they're resourceful creatures, They know how to survive. They know what they need to do. They work with what they have. And that's also one of the things I wanted to say is that with the resilience is about also being resourceful, Working with what you have to push forward, being flexible because your experiences have shaped you and adapted you. And, evolution involves adaptation, But yeah, some of you, like you have a vision for yourself where you have to be in this growth mindset. And in order to see growth, you have to be in this positive place. You can't see growth where growth can, I was about to say death, but the thing is, when an ending occurs, you have to nourish something. Like a seed can be put in the ground, but if you don't water it, how is it going to become a seedling? How is it going to grow? You know what I mean? And this is like personal. I'm not talking about like in nature, because if it rains, of course, it's going to fucking grow. The seed is going to grow because of the rain. But the rain metaphorically is you're nurturing, you nourishing, you taking care of your vision, focusing on your vision, focusing on the growth that you want to see, being resilient and flexible, but also maintaining a level of peace within yourself. Because like I said, in the potential, the transition may be a bit rocky. There may be things that may be very uncomfortable, maybe even painful. But the thing is as you're going through the journey, it's important for you to maintain a stoic type of energy, remaining peaceful. And with that is having faith that things will work out, not worrying, because like I said, you've experienced some sort of obstacles in the past where you've had to be resilient, where you've had to adapt, and where you had to survive. So this is not new to you. This is for someone who's lived. This message is for someone who's lived and needs to be reminded of that. And this message might be something that for someone who may be going through something and they need to know what they need to do, you know, because not everything is going to turn out the way you expect it to, but you have to be flexible enough to adapt, you know, so that you can reach the other side of whatever it is you want, whatever journey you're going through, whatever transition you're heading into, whatever cycle you're closing out. It's a matter of faith, resilience, flexibility, and maintaining an optimistic and peaceful energy. I like these cards. But it says, let yourself be drawn by the pull of what you truly love. Because your heart is your compass, if you think about it. Look underneath the deck, it says, love is the bridge between you and everything. You know? It's like you had to follow your North Star. You have to, but for some of you, it says you're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Stand out, perspective, bringing things together, you know? And it's your light that lights the world. Self-reliance, brilliant ideas, and time to shine is underneath. Well, all this is about being being positive. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity because I don't believe in that, you know. If you feel shitty, you're allowed to feel shitty. Your feelings are validated, you know. Nobody's like anybody who acts like nothing bothers them. I'm gonna be like, you must be a little cuckoo, you know. Have you been diagnosed with something? Because not everything is honky dory, not everything is perfect. You know, we could try to be optimistic, but shit, sometimes it's hard, you know. So those people are like, I'm like, okay, what are you taking? Because maybe I need some of that, you know? I think a lot of us are going through that transition in our life because I've been watching a lot of readings and that's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing about transitions, changes, endings of a cycle. And it kind of makes sense too. You know, it does make sense. With the way the world is, it's really like having us reflect on who we are, you know, how we show up in the world, what impact are we making, you know, even how we're showing up within our community or family. Because if you think about it, if you've read the 4 agreements, I don't know if anybody has that's watching right now. We all have our own little world. And sometimes we may be very much focused on what's going on in our world that we forget that other people have their own worlds. And sometimes we want to be important. But the thing is, we have to realize we're important to us. They're important to them. You know, we're not going to be important the same. We're not going to have the same amount of importance that we have to ourselves in someone else's life, you know. So that's one of the things that we have to remember, you know. You come first in your life and they come first in their life. You know, you will never be as important. And like I said, like anybody who tries to make you the center of the world, you know, that's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you know, because they should be focusing on themselves, you know, not you. This is why I talk about, I can't live without you. I understand that, but reality, you didn't incarnate out of nowhere before, just for this person, if there's another person. Let me see what else I have here. Well, that's good. And, you know, losing someone you love is not the easiest thing, especially if they were a supportive figure, you know, more than anybody else in your life. So it's like, in a way, it's like losing a limb, I would say, you know, and I think I'm saying this in like the most, I don't know how to say this, you know. I know it's dramatic to say that, but then the thing is, it's like if somebody was very important in your life and they were the person that you could rely on most and they're no longer here, it's like you are missing a part of yourself because they were a part of you. They were your, and I don't want to say crutch because sometimes people are our crutch, you know, You know, there people can be our crutch during, you know, certain life phases or cycles, whatever we're going through. You know, we have those people that we really relied on during those darkest times, and the ones that supported us, but nobody else would, you know, or anyone else did. Or no one else did, sorry. But it's like you have to take it one day at a time, one day at a time. Because you'll always miss your father. That will never go away, you know? That will never go away. Thank you, Evie Lion. Evie Lion. Thank you. It was so weird. Earlier today, my friend came by and he just randomly told me, he's like, you're beautiful. I'm like, what? Like, he just, that was so random. And I was like, oh my God. Oh. Yeah. That's how you know you were very close to. Thank you. The thing is, I'm not fishing for compliments. I just, that he made me blush. I was like, oh my God, like, why are you telling me this? It was so random. I'm like, oh my God. I wasn't trying to be beautiful. I'm like one of those people that if you compliment me, I get a little weird. I'll try to like negate the compliment. Like, oh, that's a nice thing. Oh yeah, I got it for $2, you know. Okay. Let's see what else comes out. What's the cards I have here? So I want to go into, let me see. Try to decide what to do right now. Trying to decide what I want to do right now. Okay, I'm gonna go into wait, you have a box. And so do you. So I'm just trying to make sure things are neat here. Because I don't like too much clutter around me. I feel claustrophobic. Okay, that's that. Okay, I have the blocked and blessed cards. Let's see, was that from what this deck? I don't know if I should have put those other cards away, but it's just I don't like having too many things around me. And I forgot my little mat. Okay, let's see. I left my my other tarot deck because I was like, I don't want to do yes or no questions. So I have a specific deck for those questions. Okay, so what message is the collective to know at this time? And it's weird because I'm talking about clutter and stuff like that, and the card I see is clean your room. That's the message. Discipline, reset, and action. Spiritual hygiene starts with laundry. Okay. And earlier today when I did the reading, actually yesterday, cleansing. You know, doing spiritual cleansings, like cleaning your room is another way of spiritual cleansing your space. Cleansing your space. You know, when you do a spiritual cleanse, you shouldn't only do it for yourself, but it should be your environment too. That's a really good way to like start a routine if you think about it. Like if there's a new moon and you do a cleanse, then you could create a routine like before every new moon, you could you clean something, you clean your space. If you're not like one that likes to clean weekly, then maybe use like a moon phase, like the full moon or the new moon as a time to like clear your space, to do a declutter, you know, do a spiritual cleanse, anything like that. Yes, this is a collective reading. I'm not answering any questions. Okay. Look, if they wanted to, they would, period. Stop writing fan fiction in your head. Truth, reality, check, and action. You know? You know, this card doesn't have to always be about love too, because sometimes we have friends or family members that say they're going to do something. They're like, oh, you're going to do this, or oh, I'm going to do that. And then they don't follow up with you. It's just like, you know, this doesn't have to be about some dude or some female. It could be about some like platonic friend. It could be your family member, a co-worker, you know, talking about, oh, let's do this. Yeah. And then they don't do it. They don't call you. They don't follow up. They don't follow through. They don't plan nothing, you know. But usually that is something you experience when you're dealing with the opposite sex or the same sex if you're into that, you know. Then we have stop mistaking chaos for chemistry. That's not a twin flame. That's a fire hazard. Obsession, illusion, and danger. So beware of anybody too that you may be experiencing a lot of, you know, people they like this. It says obsession, illusion, danger. Do not delulu. Do not delulu. Some of you definitely need to do a cleanse and it doesn't necessarily have to be your space, and it doesn't have to be spiritual. It could be mental. Somebody needs some help. They need to get clear. They need to clear their mind of clutter, clear their mind of any delusions that they have about a specific person. You know, someone who, you know, this whole twin flame thing, everybody with that, and the twin flame of their mother and all that. Like, relationships aren't supposed to be toxic, you know? It's funny because I was watching this video earlier and it was called, I forgot the guy's name. Some Jimmy on relationships, something like that. He was talking about the early signs of a toxic person, how you can tell who's a toxic person early on. And he was talking about like love bombing and other things and stuff. So I don't know if that video was interesting, because sometimes when someone is doing, like, say, if this is a relationship, right? Because I could read it that way. I mean, definitely. I mean, these cards have that in there. Yeah, because the ones right here in the bottom, it says, God didn't ghost you. He blocked him for you. Protection, divine timing, redirection. You know, so sometimes when you're dealing with people you're not supposed to, some catastrophic event happens that forces you to be apart, you know? That happened with my last person. It was catastrophic. It was catastrophic. We're both alive though, but but what I wanted to say was that sometimes, yeah, you got to trust people by their actions, not their words. You know, actions do speak louder than words, but inaction also speaks volumes. That's something I wrote. Inaction also speaks volumes, because if he really wanted to, if she really wanted to, if they really wanted to, they would. There will be no excuses. You know, there will be no excuses. So sometimes somebody needs to clear the delusions from their brain. What if this? What if that? It's as simple as this. If they wanted to, they would. That's what they always say on Instagram, right? This is the thing we always see. If they wanted to, they would. You know? And don't try to force a square peg in a round hole, or a round hole peg in a square hole, some whatever shit they say. Don't try to force something that's not meant to be. When you do that, all you're doing is just like, it's like adding fuel to a fire, you know? And the only thing you're gonna do is just cause an explosion. It's not worth worth the destruction of your self-esteem, of your self-worth, of your heart, of your mental health. Your mental and emotional health is not worth it. you know, and because it's going to reach a point where you're going to have a tower moment, and then you might end up in the ICU, in spiritual ICU, you know, hopefully not a real ICU, you know. Wow. No, 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 no. It was catastrophic. But it needed to happen. It needed, because I think the problem was me. I was definitely the problem. I needed that. And that was the closure I needed. Because I reached a point where I was like, I don't ever want to see myself like that again. I never want to be her, because the person that came out was who I was when I was 14 years old, you know? You know how we are when we're 14. Some of us, some 14-year-old girls are nice and sweet. Not this one. I was like this. And you know, I have a Leo moon, so a fire sign moon. Think about that. Does that sound safe? You know? Okay. So who is this reading for? There was definitely a death. It was a death of that version of myself. She died. She needed to. She tried to come back one time. I told her to shut the fuck up. You know? Sometimes she pops up, but you know, she's not as strong as she used to be. Okay, who is this reading for? Rejection is just divine spam filter. God didn't ghost you. He blocked him for you. That kind of doesn't make sense. It should be like, he didn't ghost you. He blocked him for you. Because why would God, I don't think God will ever ghost us, you know? Let's see, who is this reading for? But some of us, sometimes we like create these ideas, and we try to rationalize and excuse certain things. Like, oh, maybe he doesn't, you know, maybe he's busy. It doesn't take that long to text you. It doesn't take that long to call you, you know. It takes, what, 9 seconds to do that? You know? If that person can't spare 9 seconds, then how are they going to even follow through with any bigger action, anything substantial? And it goes both ways. It goes for feminines and masculines, you know, because, you know, some of us females are not nice to men, you know. Like that, the version of myself, she's gone. But you know, she is a part of me, but she has no place in where I am right now, you know. That's my ego. You know, we did talk about ego deaths. I don't think anybody's ego can die, you know. It could be suppressed. It could be silenced, especially, you know, because we all have an ego. We all have an ego, but some of us don't have the healthiest, you know. Okay, the card that came out, 7 of Swords. So this message is for someone who's experienced some sort of deception, someone who may not have been completely honest with you, possibly playing mind games, or maybe you know how some people like to string people along? I'm getting that. Like, somebody could be stringing somebody along, or maybe someone feels like they're being strung along. Let's see. Oh, no, you should hear my sense of humor. Me and my friend were joking about something earlier. Oh, my God. I love that guy. We be having the silliest conversations. Anything else? Ace of Pentacles. You know, the first thing that came out of my mind, because I said someone you may have been dealing with somebody. This could be someone new. Definitely, it could be somebody that's new to you. But it could be somebody. Yeah, I think it's somebody new. Someone you met that definitely there was some sort of invitation, some sort of offer or something made. But it's like they didn't have the best intentions. And I don't like reading the Seven of Swords as always being deceptive, but it was kind of sneaky, you know, and so it's sneaky. But then we have the Hangman coming out. Because the Hangman has to do with your perception of things, taking a break, taking a step back, even making some sort of sacrifice. But it's also looking at things from a different perspective, trying to gain a different perspective. So if this person offered something, the person did not have the best intentions. And this person definitely might be messing with your head and messing with someone's head. I don't want to say you because I don't know whose situation this is. So someone is dealing with a deceptive person that may have made some sort of offer, but did not have the best of intentions, and probably has put somebody in their head, like in their mind. So but it's like it's saying that whoever this person was played with, they need to look at things for a different perspective. They need to see the reality of it all. Does this person's actions match their words? Do they mean what they say? Or are they creating some sort of illusion? Because sometimes when we get on our heads, we could become obsessive. So someone may be needing to see or understand that this person may not have the best intentions, and that, instead of rationalizing it in your head and trying to excuse their behavior, you need to see the facts of it, But some of you, when I see the Queen of Wands, this is a queen that's usually very confident. And maybe this person was playing with someone's head because they wanted to fuck with their confidence. That's fucked up, right? One of the things that came up in my mind was sabotage, self-sabotage. But it could be somebody's trying to sabotage another person. And sometimes people do that when they are intimidated, because the Queen of Wands can be intimidating to some people because she stands her ground. She's very confident. She is authentic. She shows up as who she is. She doesn't pretend to be anything but herself. She's herself. She's confident in herself. But she's also someone you don't fuck with, And she could be the queen that people are jealous of, or she could be the queen that becomes jealous, So someone could be dealing with it could be any sex, honestly, but someone who may have been trying to fuck with somebody's head, fuck with their confidence, because there's some level of intimidation. The fact that we have the Queen of Wands here and then the swords, she looks like a confident woman, and this person looks like a boy. He doesn't look like a man. But I feel like this person sees that the power that this Queen of Wands holds, because the Emperor card is underneath. She's someone who can manifest, who can create, who is self-sufficient. And we have that here, self-sufficient, And somebody definitely, like I said, somebody was definitely trying to put somebody in the head with the Devil card coming out, because they're intimidated by this woman's this it could be a masculine energy because I could see honestly, could a feminine energy be jealous of him? Yeah, I think it's anything is possible. Anything is possible. A woman can be jealous of a man just as much as a man could be jealous of a woman, you know? But I think it has to do with status. It's like somebody wants what somebody has. And the best way to try to take that away from somebody is by taking away their confidence. Because when you feel like you're very confident in yourself and the power that you hold, but then somebody, if you're weak-minded, tries to play with your mind and they pick the wrong person. Maybe they're trying to play with somebody's head, It could be that. But this may not resonate with everybody because this could be the person's intentions to try to sabotage you in some way. I don't know, this really took a fucking turn. And all because of the Queen of Wands, It's interesting that the Queen of Wands, she's a fire sign, right? But she got these bulls all around her, That's interesting. You know what I'm thinking? Because when you think about bulls, I think about strength. And now, you know what I'm thinking? Ancestors. Like she's being protected by ancestors. That is the weirdest thing. That might resonate with somebody. Somebody is protected. Like what's meant for them is protected. Their abundance. It's like, I think somebody wants to take somebody's place. But I think the way guys do this to females, and maybe a female will do this to a guy too, try to start some romantic thing and then try to get in their head. But I think they chose the wrong person to do that with them. And that could be where this person could be gaining a different perspective because they're learning, oh yeah, I made the wrong offer to the wrong person. Because they're the ones that's like, this could be them. Somebody, like whatever delusion someone has about taking something that doesn't belong to them or even trying to usurp the power of a Queen of Wands, they're working against themselves. And I think this is where it says the blocked card, God didn't ghost you, he blocked him for you. Yeah, because this person probably tried, I think some of you may be very protected. Not I'm saying that. Because there may have been somebody trying to take something from you. Somebody was trying to take something for somebody. But they realized that they're blocked. Like whatever they were trying to do, it wasn't working. And in turn, it could be mirrored back to them. So they could be the person that's in their head. They could be the person that's self-destructing, because of what they're doing, That's some weird ass message. This person's realizing that they're not as powerful as they think they are. With the Emperor there, I don't know if this feminine has like a father figure, because the Emperor is a father figure. It could be Aries sign. Aries is the Emperor. So a fire sign father who is protecting this Queen of Wands. Protecting her financial security, her legacy. That's so interesting. That's so weird. The signs I see are the Capricorn. I said Aries. Queen of Wands is fire sign energy. So she could easily be a fire sign energy. I mean, it could easily be the Queen of Wands and masculine energy pulling through. Let me see something. I want to know who is this deceptive person? That is so weird. Who is this deceptive person? Five of Cups. It could be a Scorpio. I mean, Five of Cups is someone who is depressed, sad. has regrets about the past. Yeah. Someone who feels like, I would say someone that feels like they're stuck. Because you see, in the typical two wands, it's always two wands standing, but one fell over. So someone that feels stuck where they are, like they can't make any movement, like they're not seeing any changes, or they have no other options. What else? Who is the upset person? Five of Swords. Was that talk about mind games? Somebody who's definitely being manipulative, definitely trying to cause some sort of conflict, get somebody in their head. What was this offer? I was asking about the offer. Look. Oh my God, the Four of Cups came out. What is this offer? What was this offer? You know what? Imagine this is not about love. Because the Pentacle came out. It could be about some new opportunity that could be coming in. Somebody may be trying to block somebody from that opportunity. Because it doesn't have to be about love. I think somebody's trying to do something to make somebody leave. Like if the person bites the apple, if someone takes the bait, then they'll end up leaving. You know what I'm getting? Now this is side message. Because sometimes I read them, it's weird, and then I get side. For some of you, you could be getting a new opportunity that's kind of moving you away from this deceptive energy, an offer, and then it's gonna like an offer that comes in that causes you to walk away, but you got the Ace of Cups. So I don't know if this is a person that's trying to come in as a stable love offer, or if this could be some sort of job opportunity that somebody may have wanted to sabotage you out of getting, but somehow it's still being offered to you. It's being offered to you, not them. They're jealous. They're jealous. Hangman is Pisces. So I don't know if this is a Pisces. Look at the Lovers came out. Gemini. So why is the person? It was yesterday or something. I did a reading where somebody felt, no. It was I don't know if it was a couple days ago, but somebody having to leave something behind, getting a better offer. Moving away from something. I forgot what it was. And somebody had to make a choice because something was not healthy, it was toxic, and it was just going to continue to deteriorate. It's reminding me of that reading. Yeah, I feel like some of you had to, whoever this reading is for, someone is getting an offer that is causing them to, it could be an unexpected offer. Because whatever was going on, somebody was feeling like no longer having fun, no longer enjoying whatever they were experiencing, and just basically bored, apathetic. But then a new opportunity comes in where they can move away from this apathy and they could feel again. They can feel again, Yeah, somebody definitely had to choose some sort of ending, Imagine could be a new love offer. Maybe some of you maybe left a deceptive, if it's not a job offer, because, Ace of Pentacles. It's okay. Some of that Seven of Swords could have been a past energy. Where you were in your head. Well, someone was in their head. Somebody was depressed, feeling stuck, but then some new opportunity came that was like an opportunity for freedom. Freedom from whatever disappointment, grief, or whatever the hell that was in the past for them. And it's something that opened up their heart, made them feel more fulfilled, more optimistic too, because it was a new beginning, a new start, you know. And this new offer also gave them a new perspective, a fresh perspective about what the possibility can be after the closing of that cycle. You know, I feel like this shadow energy is someone who becomes more empowered, more confident. You know, because remember before we had like these cards with clean your room, and then if they wanted to, they would. Period. That's not a twin flame. That's a hazard. And God didn't ghost you. He blocked them for you. Like some of you, like somebody. I don't want to say somebody because I don't know who it is. So somebody is closing out a cycle, and this could be the shadow energy. What may be culminating in the future is someone who's going to be more empowered, more confident, who's going to have a lot of authority, take authority over their life, take leadership over their life, create the abundance that they want. And also, but the Capricorn energy is like very much being focused on future stability. You know, focused on that rather than matters of like the heart. Focused on even being stable within themselves, no longer being influenced by toxic behaviors or toxic people. I feel like that's what's happening here too. Like someone's gonna have more control, more it's like they learn how to tame that shadow aspect of themselves. That's interesting. Because I'm like, it could have been a job offer, it could be a new love offer, or it could have been this deceptive person trying to offer something, you know, and try to sabotage somebody. But ultimately, however the storyline resonates with anyone, in the end, when you move away from whatever that energy is, a lot of abundance lies ahead. A lot of abundance, a lot of confidence, a lot of stability, a lot of growth, a lot of power, I would say. A lot of power too. Oh, look, I didn't realize the Six of Wands was here at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, like this is like a losing situation. Getting away from that, this is where someone becomes a winner, you know, with the Six of Wands. And remember, I was talking about like not letting the things control them, like toxic stuff, and you know. And Leo is the Sun card, strength card, right? The Sun and the Strength card, right? But in the Minor Arcana, this is the Leo card, Six of Wands. This is a victory success card. You know, overcoming some sort of conflict, battles, competition, and being the victor, being victorious. Somebody's name could be Victor, since I said that. Being the victorious. Somebody's name could be Victor. I don't know if that's somebody's name. Look at that. Look at that. The Wheel of Fortune underneath. See? Yes. And King of Pentacles. And we had the Queen of Pentacles show up for sure. So for some of you, you could be finding your match, you know? You could be finding the person that's going to, your healthy match, the person that you could create a legacy with. You know, it's just not allowing yourself to get stuck in something. Don't get stuck in this negative energy that someone may have tried to put you under, you know, or sometimes this negative energy you put yourself under. Because remember, if we create these ideas in our mind and accept things or try to rationalize things that aren't good for us, then we're essentially imprisoning ourselves in a negative situation. This Seven of Swords could be someone's own energy, self-sabotage, you know. That's interesting. Yeah, that could be somebody's energy too. Someone's own energy, getting in their own way, holding on to something that needed to be released, a cycle that needed to close, you know. Like, so earlier I mentioned what I like the catastrophic event. Some of you may have experienced that yourself. You know, I was not reading this for me at all. Because I was like, you saw the way I was going back and forth, you know, definitely was not thinking about myself when I was doing this. Because I try to be objective and look outside of myself, you know. Sometimes I like to use the examples. So just to give you like a picture, paint you a picture, you know, show you. I would like to share my happy accidents, even though that event was not a happy accident. You know, don't sabotage yourself. If this is self-sabotage, don't sabotage yourself. If this is a saboteur, external, outside of you, reconnect to yourself. Reconnect to what you love. Think about what you want to grow, you know? Walk away from what doesn't serve you. Walk away from anything that doesn't make you happy, you know? Choose the things that you love and let the things that love you choose you, you know? Don't allow yourself to get stuck in anything that you can see, or you, if you look at the grand, like you have a change of perspective about how you're seeing things and even how you see yourself, and close out any cycles where you allow yourself to get caught up in this essentially deceptive energy. You know, I don't really read the Two of Wands the way I read it, but if you think about it, it's usually the two wands are standing, but this one's stuck. So it's like someone made a choice. So someone felt stuck, like they only had one option. You know, that's how I read it. So know that there are multiple options for you. Don't think that things are just limited to what you see. Your perspective is also going to shape your reality. If you're having a limited mindset, then you're going to have limited opportunities. You're going to have limited options. Things are going to be limited. If you change your perspective on things, you see how the ocean is vast. That's that's the amount of options you have. There's a vast opportunity of options and opportunities for you. I think a vast amount or an infinite amount of opportunities and options for you. So, but it's all a matter of your perspective. Are you going to have a limited perspective? Are you only going to be focusing on the negative, focusing on the negative experiences you experience? Oh my God, redundance. Focusing on only the negative thoughts you have or the negative feelings you have, you know, or are you just gonna like open your mind up, you know, open up your perception and see things from look at things from a different vantage point, you know? Because sometimes we can only see so far when we're at a certain place, but then if you go a little bit higher, you have a higher perspective, then you get your view totally changes, you know? Even the way you see yourself will change too, because this is about abundance here. But the abundance only exists when you believe that things are not limited. The options for you aren't limited. The opportunities are not limited. As long as you believe that there are infinite opportunities and options for you, then abundance is always possible. You know, it's just a matter of a change of perspective. And this is your choice. You get to choose this. This is a choice. You get to choose what you believe and what you don't believe. But I would say it's better. What's the worst in believing in that your opportunities that you're not limited? What's the harm in that? You know, because then you open up your mind to different possibilities than what you already know. You know, if you only look at what you know, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not allowing yourself to learn something new. You know. Okay. What other cards do I have? Let me. I try not to make everything about love. I mean, like, if anything's going to be about love, the first thing is always love yourself. That's the first thing. Always love yourself. Thank you for all the likes. I appreciate you for being here. Let's see. try to see what other cards I brought with me. Oh, okay, thank God. I have other cards. All right. I was worried. I was like, I know I brought more cards. Okay, I have a new tarot deck, but I've been using it more on myself than anything. I got this new tarot deck. I have this thing about Rider-Waite decks. Like, I love this style of tarot cards. You know, I do like the different variations of tarot, but I love the traditional tarot. You know, that's how I learned tarot. But then to see like this specific deck, the illustrations are have more details in it, you know. I like this deck. So I've been doing readings for myself with this specific deck. Oh, I'm getting the idea. Because what I've been doing lately is like this mini 3-card read for myself. And it's the focus, the blockage, and the advice. And then I look at the bottom to see what the hidden energy is. So I do that every day, just like a little reading for myself. It's like a little personal therapy session with tarot. That's what I used to do. That's how I taught myself tarot. Was I would do little readings and then have different combinations of cards based on what comes out. I didn't like choose cards. They chose themselves, and then I would read them for myself, and then I'll write in a tarot journal like what I got, and then it's weird how you could get the same card, but in different spreads, the meaning changes. You know. Okay. I kind of want to do uh a reading, but okay. I'm gonna do yes or no, but I'm gonna use this deck. I don't really use this deck for yes or no, but I kind of want to right now. So, does anybody have a yes or no question? I mean, it's Friday night and it's still kind of early. It's 6:53. So, does anybody have a yes or no question they'd like to ask? I should have brought my mat with me. Ugh, it's at my desk, actually. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, night. Okay, let me prepare this deck. Hold on a minute. I gotta prepare this deck. Okay, now I'm ready to answer questions. Okay. So I wasn't doing your reading yet. I had to prepare this deck. Okay, so will people stop believing the gossip they hear about Starry Night? Will people stop believing the gossip they hear about Starry Night? Will people stop believing the gossip they hear about Starry Night? Will people stop believing the gossip they hear about? It says yes, they eventually will. Yeah. It's saying yes, they eventually will. I don't know what gossip they're saying about you, but it's saying eventually they will. But I don't know how long it's gonna take. People will have to get to know you or to see you or verify you in order to know whether what they've learned about you is true or not. Okay, does anybody else have a question, a yes or no question? You gotta think about the people that matter are the ones that it's about who matters, because if the people don't matter, then who cares what they think, you know? The people that matter, the ones that are influential in your life, that's who matters. Because people are going to gossip about people regardless. Okay, does anybody else have a question? Drink some seltzer water. Does anybody else have a question? Oh, excuse me. Yeah. The only thing you can do is just be yourself. And if people are going to believe what they want to believe, then there's nothing you can really do about it. It just says a lot about them. Usually you have to learn who people are before you believe what you hear about them, you know? You're welcome. Let me change something. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. I changed the setting. So if you recently subscribed, I could find out if anybody was subscribed or not. You could refresh the chat because I changed the time limit. Okay. So if anybody else has a yes or no question, you could put it in the chat. If it slows down, then I'm just gonna end the live stream. Does anybody else have a yes or no question? Okay, I'm going to go into another reading because I don't like dead air. So I have this other deck. Let's see what messages the collective needs to know at this time. What messages the collective needs to know at this time for the highest, greatest good? Bad games, don't want anything serious. Mixed signals, manipulation, immature behavior, dishonesty, stringing along bad intentions, ghosting, not ready to communicate, not returning calls, sex, disappearing act, cold behavior, running away, not talking. And then we have silly games. Yeah, some of you are playing, some of you are dealing with a player. Someone who does not take you seriously. Well, I don't want to say you. Someone is dealing with a player energy. Someone who plays games. Someone who likes to ghost and then come back like Casper and then act like they didn't do anything. It could be someone who's like a runner that wants to be chased. Maybe that's what they're doing too. It could be a strategic move on their part, but they're doing this more so for their ego to feel good about themselves. They don't want anything serious. They just want someone to validate them in some way, validate that they're worth chasing, worth pursuing. This could be a feminine or masculine energy because both genders do the same shit. They play games. You know, this person could have been very manipulative, gave mixed signals, may have strung you along, said they were going to do things, they never follow through. It's kind of like the reading earlier, but this is like very specific, you know, it's very specific. Don't want anything seriously. So let's clarify that. Sorry about don't want anything serious. This person only does things because they want to win. Got the Wheel of Fortune coming out. They're only thinking about themselves, thinking about what they could get. They try different tactics to get what they want. Manipulation is definitely something the magician can be accused of in the shadow aspect. Some of you could be dealing with a fixed sign, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, or a Gemini energy, maybe even Virgo. Anything else about bad games? Yeah, it could be somebody that you know from a friend group or somebody you met from a friend, like somebody introduced you to them. But it could also be somebody that from work that you could be dealing with. I have to stop saying you because it could be, just take the you out and then keep the rest of the message. I can't be restating shit, you know? All right, so ghosting, not ready to communicate. Tell me about this, not ready to communicate. Some of you could just be dealing with someone who ghosted you, or you could have ghosted somebody. Somebody's dealing with a ghost. A card fell. Let's see. What else? Can I get some more? Yeah, somebody that seems to be having options. But sometimes too, it could be someone who may be experiencing some sort of a mental confusion. And then sometimes people do ghost, not for the worst reasons. Sometimes people just disappear because they need time to think. But I feel like this person may be ghosting because they needed to gain some sort of clarity. They may have been very confused about something, and that's why they needed to take a step back just to gain a different perspective, to gain some sort of clarity about a situation, even if whether they're happy in the situation, considering this is the Sun card. So someone definitely wanted to needed time to really reflect on whatever was going on in this ghosting situation. This funny that the devil card came out in reverse, but devil in reverse, because the devil card isn't really a bad card unless it's in the reverse. Because the devil just represents somebody who is, nobody really likes the devil card. It does have like a negative connotation. So the fact that it is in reverse too, if we just look at it for what it is, it could be that someone isn't being toxic, you know? If some of you think that somebody has options, it's not that. That's not why they ghosted. You know, they needed to work out some sort of inner issues that they had before they can, because it says not ready to communicate, right? So there could have been some sort of argument, discussion, or just simply this person is feeling confused and needing to gain some clarity, and that's why they isolated. You know, if you think about ghosting, the hermit could be considered a ghoster in a way, because there's someone who tends to self-isolate, take time to themselves so that they could gain a different perspective. So for some of you can be dealing with an earth sign energy. I did mention Virgo before, but the devil card is assigned to Capricorn. So somebody could have Capricorn in their chart, but the sun card is Leo too. This person could have issues with their ego, how they see themselves, their self-esteem. And that could be another thing, because the devil card is tied to toxic belief systems or patterns, behaviors, addictions, stuff like that. So for someone, this ghosting could be separate from this bad games thing, because somebody, they are dealing with someone who is manipulative and likes to play these like push-pull dynamic games, like tug of war type of shit. But then for somebody else, this person may not be doing that for that reason. They could be coming off as playing bad games, but that's not their intention. But for some of you, some people are dealing with someone who is being manipulative, you know? You know, earlier I was reading the Two of Wands as someone who felt like in this particular deck, it's like someone who feels stuck with one choice, because you see the one wand is on the ground and then there's another that in the hand. So maybe somebody made a choice and they feel like they have to stick with it, or maybe someone doesn't feel like they have options, or someone doesn't have options. They already have one thing in their mind. They already know what they want to do, but this person may not have negative. Some of you or someone is not dealing with someone who is toxic. But if somebody is dealing with somebody that plays games, that's manipulative, and already is giving off player vibes, then take it as it resonates, because not everybody's situation is the same. Okay. So silly games, playing it cool to win. I did mention there's somebody dealing with a person that wants to win. You know, the magician is manipulative, and the shadow aspect of the magician is negative. And then the Wheel of Fortune, that someone took some sort of gamble. If you think about games, gambling is a game. Somebody probably took a chance or a risk too. Okay, now for the person that's not dealing with a toxic person, this person may have taken some sort of chance and they kind of withdrew. That's the side message. Okay. But I want to know what silly, because we got games twice. You know, so that could be somebody who's just immature. They could be emotionally immature. Someone's emotionally immature. Okay, tell me about silly games. Because we got the Five of Cups. Testing the waters, harmless games, hiding true feelings, intentions, learning to be vulnerable. See, I did not read that before. And this is what I'm thinking about the non-toxic person. So I think the non-toxic person took a chance, may have expressed some sort of feelings, expressed something, and they retreated. I feel that's for somebody. That's not for everybody, because not everybody deals with toxic people, you know? Not everybody deals with toxic people, you know? So the Five of Cups is someone who If this is the non-toxic ghoster, this person may have like a fear of commitment because of past experiences. And this is for the non-toxic person because somebody's dealing with a toxic person. You know, everybody's situation is different, you know. So, and me as a reader, I try to read the good and the bad, you know. So I said the bad already, but with the Five of Cups and then reading, learning to be vulnerable, not ready to communicate. Maybe somebody didn't feel comfortable communicating their feelings or isn't ready to communicate their feelings. It's difficult for them to be vulnerable because of past experiences. You know, we've all experienced that at some point in our lives, you know, like when we feel things for somebody, but we're not sure if they feel the same thing about us, but we don't know if we should express ourselves because we have that fear of rejection and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it could be that too, you know, but this could be when I go back to the negative sense, this person who ghosted, who was playing games, who may have been manipulative, may have put somebody in this Five of Cups energy, you know, reflecting on the time, the love that they gave, and now someone's in deep regret, you know, for wasting their time and energy on a person that was a player. Excuse me. Okay. So silly games, silly games. Temperance. Yeah. Like somebody's definitely doing some sort of healing. It could be someone who was dealing with a toxic person, or this could be the ghoster, the non-toxic ghoster that may be undergoing some sort of healing. You know, because if you look at this, the Temperance card has somebody who has, you see the shadow and the light aspect. When you're in the Five of Cups energy, you're in this energy, the darkness, the shadow, you know, looking at doom and gloom. You're not seeing the bright side of things. And I feel like that in this, the non-toxic ghoster, this person may be trying to heal from past disappointments. Times in the past where they were vulnerable, were let down, disappointed, rejected, hurt. But if it's not that, if you are dealing with the toxic ghoster, this could be somebody this could be your energy where you're in the process of healing from the past and learning how to reconcile how you may have invested in the past, but then wanting to get to a brighter space, wanting to alchemize, transmute the energy into something positive where you're like, okay, yeah, this happened to me. I was dealt a shitty hand, if you think about it, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune, I was dealt a shitty hand, but this is what I learned and this is what I'm going to do moving forward. You heal, you transmute the energy, and you take it as a lesson learned, you know? Anything else? Yeah, you know, some of you are maybe not even, whoever this resonates with, non-toxic person is no longer wanting to sabotage a good thing. And the person healing from the toxic ghoster, you're no longer going to engage with these types of energies, but also you're no longer gonna lie to yourself. You know, for some of you, for somebody that has been dealing with the toxic ghoster, you may have been, I'm trying not to say you, please forgive me, because I don't want to project the storyline onto people who it doesn't resonate with. So someone who was dealing with a toxic ghoster can be at this place where they're no longer wanting to sabotage themselves or even blame themselves, or delude themselves into thinking that everything that they experience is their fault, you know, or no longer creating illusions where they rationalize someone else's bad behavior as something that's a reflection of them, of their self-worth, you know. And that could be the reason the devil's in reverse too, is releasing the attachment or bond or belief that, uh, the belief that, those negative self-talk beliefs, no longer allowing yourself to be confused by negative thought patterns or belief systems you have about yourself, and starting to be more optimistic, healing, you know. I was thinking about, the Five of Cups shows the looking at the past, healing from the past, reconciling with the past, reconciling with the past. Temperance is about reconciliation, but this is not about reconciling with another person. This is about reconciling with yourself, healing. But once you do this, the Two of Cups are there, and that's what's waiting on the other side of your healing, you know? And for some of you, um, this non-toxic ghoster can be someone that can be a soulmate to you, or some of you who are dealing with a toxic ghoster, this person, that the person that's your Two of Cups that may be coming in after your healing, could be a soulmate energy for you. Wasn't I talking about strength card earlier when I was talking about the sun and Leo in reverse? Somebody wasn't brave, learning to be vulnerable. Somebody wasn't feeling comfortable or confident enough, courageous or brave enough to express themselves, express their feelings, or to be vulnerable, And I said it could be the soulmate energy, So this could be the person dealing with a non-toxic ghoster. But this could also be the person healing from a toxic ghoster, healing this, moving away from this energy and going towards healing and happiness, courage, brave, freedom. This card represents freedom, freeing yourself from those negative beliefs you have about yourself, those negative beliefs. Not believing yourself, believing that you're worthy, that you deserve better. That could be for some of you. Okay. And no, I'm only answering yes or no questions. So if you have a specific emotion you would like to know if he feels, then I could do that. But I'm not doing general readings for anyone, just yes or no questions. So that's the reading right there. I hope it resonates with someone in the best way possible. Okay, let me. Okay. So I only answer yes or no questions. Okay. Okay, 7:18 over here in Eastern time. Hi, Pixie. Okay. Does anybody have a yes or no question they'd like to ask me? Oh. I got dead air again. I don't like dead air. Let's see. All right. Since tomorrow's the new moon in Taurus, let's see what messages we get for the collective for the new moon in Taurus. What new moon in Taurus reading? What messages does the collective need to know? What advice, guidance, insight can we provide to the collective for the highest good when it comes to this new moon in Taurus? So earlier today, I did a live stream with doing the all signs new moon in Taurus reading, and then yesterday I did a collective new moon in Taurus readings. So let's see what else. I got one card that came out. Can I get one more card? Can I get one more card, please, Spirit? One more card, Spirit. One more card, Spirit. One more? Okay. So, Yang Moon, Strength. Then we see the Leo card coming out. The Leo Strength card, the Sun card. Yang Moon is masculine energy. And then we have Drawing Down the Moon, Knowledge. Knowledge. I'm going to read from the deck. The book, sorry. I'm going to read from the guidebook. Drawing Down the Moon. Oh my gosh, look where I landed. There are some things we know because we learned them the old-fashioned way or the traditional way. And there are some things we know because we intuit them instinctively and on an energetic level. Drawing this card suggests that you're wiser than you know, but that to answer your question, you will need sacred knowledge that can't be found in a book or online. You are therefore advised to go within and call the goddess to you. Channel her thoughts and then journal about your experience. If you have a favorite goddess you like to work with, call her in. Alternatively, explore which goddess appeals to you and call her in by asking her to come to you in meditation. Or simply close your eyes and ask, which goddess wants to come to me? However you do this process, ask the goddess to transmit the information you need. Whenever this card appears, it's also a reminder to stay on track with your moon practices. Set intentions at the new moon and release them to divine at full moon. Remember, I always say the new moon is about setting intentions and the full moon is about releasing, surrendering, right? The goddess is with you. Embody your spirituality. You don't yet have all the answers you need. Step into your wisdom and let the moon be your guide. So the practice of drawing down the moon is said to date back to the 2nd century BCE. It involves the calling a goddess energy into your body via the moon and asking her to speak through you. So if some of you have some sort of questions, it's important for you to go within and, like it's saying, I don't know if some of you divine, like if you believe in goddesses or angels, something like that, but if there's a goddess that resonates with you, you should call on her to speak to you in any way she can. It could be through dreams. It could be through meditation. That's suggested here. But it's important for you to trust your intuition about something. But one of the meanings of this card is you don't yet have all the answers you need. So there are certain things that you need to allow to come to light. Which is funny because with the Strength card, that will be the sun. Even though this is a moonology deck, Yang energy is sun energy. Masculine energy, right? The moon is feminine energy. So this is definitely like there's some information that you need to know before you can proceed with something, and it will do you a world of good for you to allow some things to unfold on their own rather than trying to get the answers right away, because the answers you seek may not be fully revealed to you at this time. Things start to become more revealed during the full moon phase, So some of the answers that you are seeking, you will know more by the next full moon, which will be on May 31st. That's the Sagittarius full moon, So you know, in case you forgot. And also that full moon, I'm sorry, that Sagittarius full moon is also a blue moon, since it's the second full moon we have during a calendar month. The next card we have is Strength. This card calls for you to draw upon your inner resources. It's time for you to step into your power. If someone or something has been making you feel less than, consider the possibility that this is actually a soul challenge to believe in yourself more. It's your time to shine. You have everything you need to achieve your goals, but you need to show the universe your resilience and strength. Now is the time for you to move out from the shadows and into the light. There is nothing to be gained from cowering in the shadows at this time. False humility won't get you anywhere. Don't sell yourself short, and don't even try to convince yourself that you don't have what it takes. You really do. The first step is to think about all those times in your past when you got through big challenges. This is what I was saying in the beginning of the reading earlier. Didn't I tell you this? Remember with the animal cards? Doing that made you the person you are today. And you have all the resources you need to keep going. You know, I remember I was saying that your experiences have taught you to be resilient and also to be adaptable, to be flexible. Additional meanings of this card is don't be a wallflower, so stand out. Don't minimize yourself in any way. Show up as your true authentic self. Go first. Don't wait for anyone to give you permission. If you don't need permission, then just do it, you know, and hopefully you're safe. You're being safe and you're taking precautions when necessary. Transformation is possible now, but it's a matter of you taking the necessary action, but also believing in yourself. And since we are going into the new moon in Taurus, it's all about self-worth. How do you see yourself? What do you believe you're worthy of? What do you think you deserve? Do you think you deserve everything good? Or do you think you're not worthy, that you don't deserve to have good things? You don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to be abundant. You don't deserve to be safe. You can't, if you want to make something happen for yourself, you got to get rid of all of those negative fears and believe the opposite, that you are worthy of all the good the world has to offer you, all the universe has to offer you. You have to believe that, you know, and that's when you can transform the way you see yourself and also the way you live your life and how you live your life and what opportunities you attract into your life, even the type of people you attract into your life. You know, be bold and make the first move. You know, you have to, in order to be bold, in order for you to make the first move, and in order for you to show up as your authentic self requires you to be authentic. Be proud of who you are, proud of all the challenges you've overcome. Be proud of the person you are because of those challenges. They shaped you. They made you the person you are, the resilient, flexible, adaptable, strong person that is compassionate and understanding, you know. The yang and the yin-yang symbol can be seen to represent the masculine energies in all of us versus the yin, which represents the feminine energy. So yang energy is masculine, yin energy is feminine. So right now, this is the time for you to be bold, to take some sort of assertive action, possibly set a powerful intention, you know, but be grounded. Don't be grandiose. Don't be egotistical. Don't try to pretend you're something you're not. You know, if you do have issues with self-worth or self-esteem, it's important for you to work through that. Work through your feelings. Ground yourself when necessary. Speak authentically. Speak with integrity. Gain knowledge, gain information that you need, information that's going to empower you and prepare you for whatever bold move you're maybe planning to take. Even help you with some sort of transformation or transition you may be going through at this time. Because remember, earlier in the deck, we saw the card, we saw the caterpillar card was potential. All of us have potential. It's a matter of how do we use that potential. Don't let your potential go to waste. You know, and this is when you have to pull on your masculine energy, the action oriented, the action taking energy that exists within you, you know, but it's all a matter of you being empowered. Also, you pulling on your knowledge base and adding on to it, because when you take a bold move, regardless of how it goes, if it goes in your favor, you may slip and fall, whatever the case may be, you took a chance, you know what works. That builds on your knowledge base, but that also builds on your confidence too. you know? So that's that for that reading. Okay, it's 7:30 and I didn't see any more questions. So I'm gonna end this live stream now. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend ahead and that you stay safe. And I will see you on Monday. So I thank you all for joining, for liking, for possibly subscribing. And yeah, I hope a message in this specific live stream resonates with you in the best way possible. And I'm sending you lots of love and light. Take care, everyone. Bye.